Let's do some cooking, shall we? We are going to make a Tuscan chicken pasta, and I've actually already started the process because this will take about 20 minutes to actually cook in the steps that you have to cook this in. So already in my pan right now is freshly chopped up and minced garlic, chopped up onion, and a chopped up red bell pepper. That's already in here, and basically you're just going to let this simmer for about 5 minutes. And what you're kind of looking for is tenderness, that it's tender to the touch. It's not really crispy, crunchy anymore, and also a little brown inside the pan. That brown, you don't want to get rid of that. You don't want to take this out and clean your pan out, because that brown, that is what we call flavor. So this is already kind of going here and getting really tenderized, and your onions, you'll kind of know when they're done when it becomes a little bit of translucent. So what I'm going to go ahead and do, because this is the next step that we're going to go ahead and need, is this has some oil in it, some olive oil. I'm going to sprinkle in just a little bit of flour. This is going to be a thickening agent, so we'll go ahead and kind of get that stirred in. So as we're doing that, I want to run off the ingredients to you here. First off, we're going to have some freshly chopped up tomatoes there. You can get sun-dried tomatoes if you like. That will be in oil. I would drain the oil since you already have the oil going on. And then some spinach leaves here with the stems chopped off. Peppers of your choice, red, orange, yellow, and then some freshly minced garlic. Now the next step we're going to have to do, and we're going to do this next, is because this has to simmer for a while, this is going to be some half and half. We're going to do about a cup and a half of your half and half. That's how you can remember that. A cup and a half of your half and half. And now just kind of stir that up so that everything is now being equally distributed here, and we're going to turn up the heat. We do not really want this to boil. We want to give this really more of a simmer. So doing this with your flour is a little bit of a thickening agent. Don't add more flour, because we're actually going to be thickening this up even more in just a little bit in a different manner. But you can really see here how you've got the white over here with your cream and your milk mixture there, but also you're getting now the color of the oil and the onions too there inside. The next ingredient that we're going to add is the tomatoes. Like I said, you can use the sun-dried tomatoes if you like. I would, because they've got the oil on it, so drain that oil off. But go ahead and throw in your tomatoes. This is, by the way, if I didn't tell you, this is a Tuscan chicken pasta. We're going to leave the spinach leaves alone. Those are what is going to come in last. As we continue to stir, it's getting a little bit on the thicker side, which is exactly what we want. Don't worry, we're going to thin it out a little bit more. This is kind of a balance of back and forth. The next ingredient, seeing that this is going to be Tuscan, which would be Italian, we're going to put in some Italian seasonings. Now, Tuscan, in the sense of the word, Tuscany, Italy, of course, but also Tuscan just means simple, basic, doesn't require a lot, but can feed a lot of people. And that's exactly what this is. I have another Italian seasoning that I'm going to put in here. This already has some salt in it, so I'm not going to add any salt to this, but I will add some pepper to it. And this is a seasoning that I highly recommend that you keep on standby just in case you want to use it one day. Let me show the package here to you. It's called Italian. That's it. And it's actually a salad dressing packet that you would mix, but you can do so much more with this. In fact, you can take a whole stick of butter in a baking dish and put that in there into the oven, let that kind of melt, and then throw some shrimp on top, shrimp scampi. And my mother says that is the best shrimp scampi she's ever had, compared to a restaurant that we all know is really well known for their shrimp scampi. This is really starting to thicken up even more. Now I'm going to go ahead and add the chicken. This is a whole chicken breast. I cooked it yesterday. I fried it. All I did was season it with salt and pepper on both sides, fried it up, and then chopped it up into small pieces. So now we're going to add our chicken in there. Get that stirring so that it can get warmed up. You can see here, we're starting to thicken up even more since we're getting rid of some of the water base. Now what we're going to do to add a little bit more flavor to this is throw in some chicken stock. This is going to be about a cup of chicken stock. And don't worry, you say, well, Joe, now you're thinning it back out again. Don't worry, that's not going to be a problem, because we're going to thicken it up with some flavor. So as we stir this in, we get it evenly distributed so that now it's kind of thinned out a little bit more. Now we're going to add some shredded Parmesan cheese. We're going to go about half a cup of that. That is going to begin the melting process to begin to thin this, and then use whatever noodle you want. I like bow tie noodles. I think they're kind of fun to play with. About 8 ounces there of your bow tie noodles, and let that stir. And now the only thing you have to do is wait for this to thicken up a little bit more. Continue to mix so that nothing sticks to the bottom. By the way, when you're cooking your pasta, as I always like to recommend, make sure that you cook it with a very salty water, almost as salty as the ocean itself. So I'm going to let this heat up a little bit more. Make sure the chicken's nice and warmed up, the cheese is melted, the flavors continue to get mixed in, and we'll serve it to Ron and try it out coming up in just a couple